and let's go. So using the ball today, we're going to lie down on the floor to begin with, get our body released and get a bit of core activation. So as you lie down, just having a check as always. First thing, always checking the position that we're in and our posture. So we've got our feet shoulder distance, about fist distance between the legs. Got that line from the feet to the knees, to the fronts of the hips, to the shoulders. Chin nods to the chest. Remember, a small folded up towel if you need to for underneath your head. We're going to get the ball and we're going to start putting it underneath the pelvis, under the bottom. So I want you to squeeze the bottom muscles first, lift up, and then put the ball underneath your bottom. So we're making sure that it's not under the lower back, it's all the way down under the pelvis. And we're making sure that we haven't changed the position of the feet or the legs. So you're going to slide your hands to the front of your pelvis and you're going to feel those 3 points, the pubic bone and the 2 hip bones. And you're going to make sure that your pubic bone is higher than the hip bones. And you're just going to hold it there for a moment. So we want to make sure pubic bone fingertips is higher than the hip bones, the heel of the hands. And if it isn't, then you move that ball a little bit further down. Then you place the hands on the floor and we're trying to curl the pelvis a little bit more. So we want the pubic bone even higher than the hip bones. And then we're going to release it a little bit. And again, we're just curling that pelvis and then we're releasing it. And we're using the ball to help the pelvis curl, and we're curling the pelvis to help open up our lower back, our lumbar spine. We're going to do a couple more, so you curl the pelvis and then you release it. We've got one more, curling that pelvis. Now keep it curled, and now let's switch on those deep core muscles, that internal belt. So take a breath in. Now, as you let the breath out, remember it's the very end of the out breath is when you tighten that imaginary belt. It's when you pull your belly button in towards the spine. But then I want you to relax and just switch off that muscle. Let's do that again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to tighten that belt. You're drawing the belly button in towards the spine. And then you're going to release it, switch it off. The next time, let's keep it switched on. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're tightening the belt. We're drawing the belly button in. Now this time we want to keep this muscle activated as you bring the right leg up to tabletop, knee above hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. Focus on that core. See if you can tighten it any more. And then your left leg comes up. Now from here, let's challenge these core muscles. So we're leaving the angle of the hip the same. We're moving from the hip, should I say, as the right leg lowers. We're just going to let it hover off the floor, but then we're checking again. Is that core still switched on? Then you bring it back up. Now your left leg. Now if you feel it switching off, you're going to know it switches off if the lower back lifts or if the stomach muscles pop up. And if that's the case, you're going to reset that muscle and make this movement a little bit smaller. So it's always working with your own body, listening to your body. I'm going to be giving different options, different levels. I want you to stay with what feels good for you today. So this is option 1. You're just going to let one leg lower and one leg lift. If you want more of a challenge, have your elbows on the floor, but have your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So we're taking away a little bit of support. That means our core muscles are working a little harder. There's an option 3. If you're fine with that, take away the arms altogether. Draw the navel in. Remember that belt is creating that stability. Breathing in as one leg lowers. Breathing out as one leg lifts up. We're just going to do 4 more for now. So arms on the floor, elbows on the floor, our arms up to the ceiling. And we've got 3 more. Breathing in as you lower. As you breathe out, bring it back up. 1 more on each side. One leg's going to lower. We're tightening that belt. That's it. As the leg comes up, finish off with the left leg. Left leg lowers. And then we're going to bring it back up. Now I want you to bring the knees in towards your chest. You can pull the knees in a little closer with your hands, but if you need a bit of stability, then leave your arms on the floor. So the stomach muscles are now switched off. The closer the knees are in, the more we're going to open out the lower back. But from here, let's stretch the right leg towards the ceiling. Flex that foot and then point the foot. And again, move from your ankle as you flex. Make sure the big toes and little toes are pulling towards you, and then point. 2 more, flex and point. 1 more, flex and point. Now this time as you flex the foot, reach that leg forwards. And then as you point the foot, you're going to bring that leg back up. And again, you're flexing it, reaching it forwards. And as we do this, making sure that lower back doesn't lift. So we're stretching our hamstring, but we're also stretching our hip flexor. We're going to do 1 more flex, lower the leg, leave it there, stretching it out, point it while it's down there, and then let the right foot just rest on the floor. So you may need to soften the knee a little bit. Hold this position as you take a breath in and just letting the breath out. You're going to slide your right foot in towards you and you're pulling the right knee into the chest, or you've got your arms on the floor. Now let's do the same with the left leg. So first of all, it stretches to the ceiling, and don't worry if it doesn't fully straighten. And we're going to work through the ankle, flex, point. Notice the change in your body as you flex the foot to pointing it, as it stretches all the muscles, the connective tissue, not just down the leg, but also throughout the lower back. Flex and point. 1 more, you're going to flex and then point. Now this time as you flex it, reach it forwards and then point it, and it comes back up. And again, flex, reaching that leg forwards and then point, it comes back up. 2 more, we're going to flex and reach it and then point, bring it back up. 1 more flex, reach it, leave it there, point it while it's there, reach it out, let your leg lower to the floor. And again, just soften the knee a little bit. We're opening up the front of that hip, so let's take a breath in. And then we let that breath out. And then from here, your left leg slides in, but the foot stays on the floor. Your right foot goes down towards it. The feet are still shoulder distance apart. Arms are on the floor. Now let's activate our bottom muscles, our glutes. So can you squeeze the bottom first and then lift, take away the pressure from the ball, and then release as you lower back down. And again, we squeeze, so we feel these muscles switching on first and then lifting up, and then release, lower back down. And again, now we're going to be strengthening our glutes. Our glutes play an important role in the way we move, in that stability for the pelvis. We're going to do 2 more, squeeze, lift, release, lower. Now squeeze, lift, and stay there. Move your ball to one side, but keep the bottom up. We're squeezing those muscles to keep it up. Now let's curl the pelvis like we did when we had the ball under it, pubic bone higher than the hips. As you slowly articulate that spine, as you let your back lower all the way down onto the floor, ready for a shoulder bridge. So take a breath in at the bottom. First thing, you breathe out, we tighten that belt again, see if we can use the stomach muscles to press the lower back. Second thing, the pelvis curls, the bottom muscles squeeze, and then you peel up into your shoulder bridge, holding it there as you take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to lower down. You're curling your pelvis as you lower all the way down and then release it. We're going to do this 1 more time, but we're going to stay up the next time. So take a breath in. First thing, we're going to breathe out, tighten the belt, imprint the lower back. Second, curl the pelvis, squeeze the bottom, peel up. So now we're staying up in the shoulder bridge. So the thing that's helping us are these bottom muscles. So keep squeezing the bottom. We want to keep the hips level. First of all, let's just lift the right heel off the floor. The toes stay on the floor. Now, as your heel lifts, keep these hip bones level. So using the bottom muscles, and then let it lower. And now change and lift the left heel. And as the heel lifts up, you're squeezing those bottom muscles. And then lower. This is your option 1, lifting the heel. Option 2, lift the leg up to tabletop. But it's the same thing, we want the hips to be level, we're working the bottom muscles, and then we're going to let that leg lower down. So you're either lifting your left heel or your left leg up, but we're squeezing the bottom, we want the hips level, we're strengthening these glutes, and then lower down. And again, keep this movement going. Now, if you want more challenge, like we did in the beginning, have your elbows on the floor and the fingertips up to the ceiling. So now the arms aren't stabilizing you. If you want even more challenge, the arms are lifting up. So you've got all those options. Don't feel like you've got to go to the most challenging version, get every level perfected, and then move on to the next level. We're going to do one more on each side, whichever version you're doing, you're going to lower down, and we're going to finish off with that left side, and then you're going to let the foot lower, and hopefully you're still in that same position you were at the beginning. If your arms are up, you're going to let your arms lower down. While you're up, you're going to grab that ball again, put it under your pelvis, and now sink down into it. Perfect. So let's open out that lower back again. So again, we want the pubic bone higher than the hips to begin with. And then we're just going to curl the pelvis again. And then we're releasing it. And again, curling the pelvis. And then we release it. And again, 2 more here, curling that pelvis. Release it. 1 more, we're going to curl it. Now let's keep that pelvis curled. And like we did before, we're going to activate the core muscles. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're tightening the belt. We're feeling that internal muscle switching on, belly button into the spine. But then we're going to release and we're going to switch it off again. Let's go again, breathing in. As you let the breath out, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. But then release it. We're going to do 1 more. Take a breath. As you breathe out, belly button into the spine, we're going to keep it in. Now, instead of automatically lifting the right leg up first, let's mix it up and lift the left leg up to tabletop first. Leave it there. Tighten that belt more. Bring that right leg up. Now, like we did before, we're going to let the left leg lower. Let it hover or as low as you can, keeping these muscles switched on. Bring that leg up. Now the right leg. Now again, stay whatever version feels best for you. Remember the next version, you had your elbows on the floor with the fingertips up to the ceiling. The next version, you had your arms off the floor. But guess what? We're going to do another version as well. So if you have got your arms off the floor, try adding the opposite arm stretching above the head. Draw the navel in as you come up. So stay whichever level feels best for your body. We're breathing in, lower down. We've got 4 more here, whatever version you're doing. And you've got 3. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out, using those core muscles as you come back. 1 more on each side. We're going to lower and then bring it back up. So we started with the left leg. Let's finish with that right leg and then bring it back up. As we did earlier, pull both of your knees into the chest. If you need that stability, your arms are on the floor. But just hold it here for a moment as we give the body, that lower back, a little time to open out for the muscles and ligaments around it to open and stretch as you take a breath. And letting that breath out. 1 more time, take a breath in. We're going to let the breath out. If you have got your hands on your legs, place them on the floor, because this time both of your legs are going to stretch up towards the ceiling, then both knees bend back in. And again, don't worry if these legs don't fully straighten. As we work through the class, we'll be stretching the hamstrings more and more, as well as strengthening them. And 1 more, we're going to stretch. Now your right leg is going to reach forwards. So into scissors. Then your right leg comes back up towards the ceiling. Now your left leg reaches forward. So again, we're opening out those hip flexors like we did earlier. Bring the left leg up to the ceiling. We've got 4 more of these, reaching the leg forwards. Without that lower back moving. 3 more, reach that left leg forwards and then bring it back. Got 1 more on each side, right leg. And then you're going to bring that leg back. Left leg lengthens out. Bring it back. Bend the knees in. Place your feet on the floor and just having a quick check. Make sure the feet are shoulder distance apart. As you did before, let's switch the glutes on. We squeeze the bottom muscles and we're lifting. We're not moving the ball just yet. We're sinking back down into it. And again. So just this action using the ball just really helps release the connective tissue. Lift and then lower. And we're going to do 1 more. We're going to lift. We're going to stay here. Move the ball to one side. But this time, hold the ball up to the ceiling. So again, we haven't got the support of the arms. We're going to curl the pubic bone. We're trying to open up the lower back. And we'll lower all the way down onto the floor. The ball and the arms stay still as your legs roll to the right. So keep the legs apart as they roll to the right. Bring them back to the center. Let your legs roll to the left. So now we're adding some rotation in the spine. Bringing it back to the center. And again, they're going over to the right side. And then back to the center. And the legs roll over to the left. And bring it back. Now, as you lower the ball in front, start to lift your head. Think of head opposite the ball. And then as the ball lifts up, the head lowers. And then you roll your legs to the right side again. Bring it back. So think of that ball opposite the head. Roll the legs to the left. Bring it back. Now, as you start to lower the arms, you're trying to keep the ball opposite the head. As you curl up, you're looking towards the tops of the knees. And then with just much control, you lower back. Then your legs are rolling to the right side. Then bring it back to the center. Then they roll to the left. And you bring it back. We've got this 1 more time. So we're going to come up, but this time as you come up, put the ball between your knees, chin to the chest, let your head lower down. Now let's start to work our abductors, the muscles down the insides of the legs. We're going to squeeze into the ball. Remember, use a cushion if you don't have a ball. Release. You're going to squeeze. Hold it there and then release it a little bit. Squeeze for 4. And as we squeeze, we want to make sure the pelvis is neutral. So we're not flattening the lower back. We're not tilting the pelvis. We squeeze for 3 and then release it. Squeeze for 2 and then we're going to release. And again, we squeeze for 1 and then release. Now, we're not going to fully squeeze, but just a little bit. So those muscles are switched on. We're going to do a hip lift. So it's not like a shoulder bridge. We're not going to press the back, but we're going to squeeze the bottom muscles and lift the hips straight up in one go. And then we're going to lower down in one go. Do that again. So working at different muscles as you lift up and then you lower. 2 more. You're still squeezing that ball a little bit as you do this. Lower down. 1 more, squeeze and lift. Now stay here. Now squeeze the ball. Release it. So you want to keep the bottom up. Squeeze. Want to open the fronts of these hips. And again, squeeze, release. Keep it going. Now make sure the big toes are pressed into the floor as much as the little toes. And squeeze for 3. Release. We squeeze for 2. And release. We're squeezing for 1. Release. Now squeeze just a little bit and then lower back down. Well done. Now lift your heels off the floor. Tiptoe your toes a bit closer in towards your bottom. Now activate the core. Draw the navel in so the lower back doesn't lift any more than it is. And see if you can keep the lower back still as both of your legs come up to tabletop, but bring your feet together. Open the arms to the side, palms to the ceiling. Now let's squeeze that ball in this position and then release it. And again, we're working all those adductors, these muscles important for knee strength as well. Squeeze, release. And again, we're going to squeeze, release. Now this time, keep the feet apart, but let your legs roll to the right. Don't let them rest on the floor. Arms are stretched out to the side. Now I want you to squeeze the ball first of all and keep squeezing it, and now bring the legs slowly back to the center, and then you stop squeezing. We're going to go to the left. So as well as those inner thighs, we're starting to work our obliques, the muscles down the side of the waist. Stay there. Squeeze. Now make sure those shoulders stay on the floor. Keep squeezing. Bring it back and release as you come back. Let's add the head movement. So this time as our legs go to the right, the head turns to the left side. Left shoulder is on the floor. Squeeze the ball. Keep squeezing it as you bring it back to the center, and then you stop squeezing as you come back. Now it's the other side. The legs are going to the left. Head to the right shoulder stays on the floor. Pause there. Squeeze the ball. Now keep squeezing it as you bring it back to the center. Release it. And again, we're going to do 4 more of these today. Legs to the right, head to the left. Pause there. Once you're there, then squeeze. Now keep squeezing as you bring it back to the center, and then you stop squeezing. 3 more to go. The legs are going to the left, and your head goes to the right. Right shoulder down. Hold it for a second. Squeeze and keep squeezing. Come back to the center, and then stop squeezing. 1 more on each side. Creating our strong Pilates bodies here. Hold it. Now squeeze. Keep squeezing as you bring it back, and then release. We're going to do that one last time as our legs go to the left, head to the right. Hold it. We're going to squeeze and keep squeezing as you bring it back to the center. Going to lift the arms, going to hold the ball. The feet are lowering down. You're holding the ball up to the ceiling. And we're just going to slide the right leg along the floor. So we want to open up those hips that we've just stretched. We're going to flex the foot and point, and then the right leg slides in, but the pelvis, the spine stays still. And now your left leg's going to slide out, and you flex, and then point, and then it slides back in. We just got 1 more on each side. Ready for that right leg. Flex the foot, and then point, and then bring it back in. Ready for that left leg along the floor, and then flex and point. Going to bring that left leg in. Walk your feet and your legs together. Now both of your legs are rolling to the right, but you're keeping the arms and the ball still. Both legs come back to the center. They're both going over to the other side. And then we're bringing it back to the center. 1 more each side. Over to the right. And then back through the center. Last time, over to the left side. Bring it back. And now you're going to roll over onto your side, any side. Now, whichever leg you've got on top, that's a leg that's going to have your ball or a cushion behind if you haven't got the ball. So your legs are bent, lift the top leg, bring it forward, slot the ball behind the knee. Now you've got to squeeze into that ball to keep it there. And then it's on top of the other leg. Now check your alignment. So your arm is either stretched or bent, or you can prop yourself up. But we've got our line from the ear, the shoulder to the hip, hand on the floor in front. We're going to bring this leg forwards. We're going to flex the foot. We're going to squeeze the ball. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to point. Now the leg goes back. And we see if it can go back a little further, so we open out the hip. You might feel like you're leaning forwards a little bit, but try not to lean too far forwards. Flex the foot. The knee comes forwards. Squeeze. 4 and 3. 2 more. 1 more. Then you're going to point. The leg goes back, so we're opening out the hip. Flex the foot. And then bring it forwards. Get ready and squeeze it for 4. For 3, work that hamstring, 2 and 1, and then point that foot, and then take that leg back, open out the hip. 1 more, flex. We're going to bring that leg forwards, and you're going to squeeze. 4, squeeze 3 and 2 and 1, and then point. Now take that leg back. Now this time as it's back, can you flex it while it's back? Can you squeeze here? You might cramp up in the hamstring, but try and squeeze for 4 and 3. Strengthening that hamstring. 2 and 1. Point the foot. Well done. Bring that leg in. Grab hold of the ball. Just have the ball on the floor. Now your leg is stretched out. Lengthen it. Now we're going to flex. We're going to do our side kick. We're going to bring it forwards. Now we pulse. 1, 2, and then point. Now as it goes back, can you roll that ball forwards? Stretch on a diagonal. You bring it back. Flex the foot. Come forwards. 1, 2, and then point. Just reach it so you get a stretch down the side of the body. And again, bring it forwards. Remember, any position with your arm, with your other arm, your supporting arm. And again, flex. 1, 2, point, take it there now. Keep stretching it, keep lengthening it as much as you can. Excellent. And then release, place it on top of that other leg. Now from here, you're going to just push yourself all the way up and we're going to turn round to the other side. And repeat all that on the other side. So your top leg lifted, put the ball behind the knee, and then let it lower. Have your arms stretched, bent, propped up, ideally the same arm position you had on the other side. Check the ear, the shoulder, the hips in alignment. Then we're going to bring the leg forward. We've got to squeeze into it to keep it there, so we activate the hamstring. Foot flexors, squeeze the ball. 4, 3, 2, 1, then point the foot. Now the leg goes back. That knee is going slightly behind the thigh, but we try not to lean forwards too much. We've got the hand on the floor to stop us going forwards too much. Flex, and again, bring it forwards. And squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then point, and then that leg goes back. And again, flex it, bring it forwards. Good, and pulse it. 4 and 3, 2 more, 1 more, and then point with control. That leg goes back, and 1 more. Flex. We're going to bring it forwards, and we're going to squeeze for 4, squeeze 3, 2, 1. We're going to point the foot, take it back. Now we're going to leave that leg back, so the knee's behind the hip. We're going to flex. We're going to see if we can squeeze now and feeling that hamstring even more. For 4, squeeze 3, squeeze 2, and 1. Well done, point. Bring that leg back. Take the ball away, place it on the floor and stretch the leg out, so lengthen it out. We've got our side kick. We're going to flex the foot. We're going to bring it forwards. Now point. As the leg goes back, roll the ball on that diagonal. Feel that length down the side of the body. Bring the ball back as the foot flexes. Forwards, stretching out that muscle that we've just strengthened. And then stretch out. And again, we've just got 2 more. 1, 2, good. And point, lengthen and stretch. Last one. 1 and 2, and then point, lengthen. See if you can stretch the leg out anymore. See if you can stretch that arm out anymore. And then bend the leg, bring it all the way back in. Push yourself up. We're hitting every position today. Ball behind the top of your back. So the top of the back is your thoracic spine. And by having the ball here, it's going to allow our body to go into some nice extension. But checking your position, feet shoulder distance, remember that fist distance between the knees. We're sort of in a bit of a neutral pelvis here, so the pubic bone, hip bones are level. Interlink the fingers together, hands behind the head. We want to be able to easily just look towards the tops of the knees in this position. Now remember, we're not lifting and lowering the chin on this. The chin stays that same distance away from the chest. It's your spine that does the movement. So we're just going to lower back. We're supporting the head. We're looking either up to the ceiling or slightly forwards. Make sure that you're not looking behind. And just stay here for a moment. Take a breath. Just let the breath out. Remember, this position is great for your posture, for the upper back. Take another breath. Now, as you breathe out, feel the back of the rib cage press into the ball. Feel these stomach muscles having to work hard. As you come up and you look again back to the tops of the knees, we're going to go again. control as we slowly drop back. And then wherever you get to, just stay here. Make sure you can still see the elbows out the corner of your eyes. You're breathing in. You're letting the breath out. And then just retrace the lines with your eyes along the ceiling, down the wall, towards the tops of the knees. And again, just nice and slow, controlled. Taking that breath in. Just let the breath out. And then from here, just slowly roll back up, looking towards the tops of the knees. We're going to just do one more for now. So the feet stay still, your pelvis stays still. You just drop back and hold it, breathing in, letting that breath out. Stay where you are for another breath. As you breathe out, curling up so that you're looking forwards. And as you look forward, shuffle the bottom back so the ball rolls a little further down your back to allow you to curl up even more. Tighten that belt, leave go, stretch the arms, draw the navel in. We're going to roll up. We're going to go into some mermaids now with the ball. So you're facing forwards. The ball is going to be, doesn't matter which side, on your side. Now option one, you just got your legs bent in front of you. Option two, you're swinging the feet away from wherever the ball is. But if you've got your legs in the Z-sit position, we want to try and make sure that your hips are level. So we don't want one hip higher than the other. So whatever position, forwards or side, is best for you. Now your hand is on the ball, shoulder slides down. Make sure we're not pushing the chin forwards. In fact, press the chin back. We roll the ball away, but keep that stability in it. So just roll it away a little bit without the shoulder lifting. Now we've got that stability as we lift that arm up and over. And we're lengthening. If this doesn't feel good with the ball, then please just put your hand on the floor instead. Now breathe into the side and then come all the way back up. We're going to lower, we're going to pick the ball up and we're going to stretch that arm up. So you can be doing the same position with your legs bent in front. Over to the side. The ball rolls away, your arm is lengthening. Hold it, breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring it back. And maybe the arm just stretches, maybe you get a bit of side bend, but we won't get a lot of movement on this side. And bring it back. Just got two more here. Holding it, take a breath. As you breathe out, you're going to bring it back. And then that opposite stretch. We're going to do this one more time. So this is another important spinal movement. Stretching all the muscles down the sides of the spine. And then all the way up and over. And then bring it back. Now before we do the other side, just going to slide your legs in front of you if they're not already, and you're going to hold the ball. I'm just going to go sideways, you're facing forwards. Feel that subtle lift in the chest, so all those muscles in the spine having to work hard. And then we're just going to curl. We want to go in a C curve, but without pushing the chin forwards. You want to curl the pelvis. As you go back, this can be a small movement, a big movement, but the most important thing is, can you pull your belly button in towards the spine? Then use your stomach muscles to roll up. Feel the spine lengthen. And then let's go again. Now once you're back, curl your pelvis. Draw your belly button in. Good. And then bring it back. And again, take a breath in. Breathe out. Go back. Now find your challenge spot. Keep the navel in. Ball in your right arm as you open both arms out to the side. Turn the palms to the floor. Notice how these stomach muscles have got to work even harder. Come all the way back and then roll up and lengthen up. Let's go again. Breath in. Breathe out. First, we want to find that C curve in the spine. Tighten the belt. Now left arm with the ball. As you open, reach the arms out. As the arms reach out, visualize this belt pulling tighter. Bring them back. and then roll back up. One more each side, so breath in, breathe out, curl your pelvis, go back, hold it, tighten the belt, open out, ball is in that right arm, the arms are stretching, we're pulling that belly button in, bring it back, and then roll up. We've got that one last time. You go back, check those points, navel is in, open out to the left, good, and then bring it back, come all the way back. Now let's either keep your legs in front, we're going to do the other side, or swing your legs round. So whichever side, your second side you're doing, we're making sure we're not lifting the shoulder is down. And if you're using the ball, it rolls away just a little bit, but we're working into these stability muscles in the shoulder, and the arm lengthens over. Take a breath. As you breathe out, we're going to bring it back, and as you come back, you stretch that arm over to the side. Good. And then bring it back, place it down. Roll it away a little bit. Find that stability in the scapula. Then your arm stretches. Take a breath in. Remember, your hand can be on the floor for all of these ones. We're going to come back and then stretch over. And again, we've got 2 more of these to go. We're stretching, holding it. Take a breath. And then as you breathe out, bring it all the way back. Feel that little subtle lift into the chest. And then add that lateral flexion. Bring it back. We're going to do that one more time. So the ball rolls, the arm stretches. Take that breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring it back. And then you're lifting and stretching, holding it there for a moment. Then you're coming back. We're adding on to the previous movement. So you're going to have your legs in front. Hold it there. Take a breath. Remember that little lift in the chest. As you breathe out, curl your pelvis, go back a bit. Now tighten that belt. Ball in the right arm as you open the arms out. There's more. We're rotating to the right side, and you're going to look towards the right arm. Place the ball on the floor. Now from here, make sure the left side, the bottom's on the floor. Can the ball roll back just a little bit? Can it roll back in towards you a little bit? And again, 3 more. So now we're really strengthening on a deeper level here. 2 more. Adapt and modify if you need to. 1 more, stay there. Now can you pull your belly button in and just pick the ball off the floor? Return to face forwards. Only got 1, so 1 on each side for this. Come all the way up. Lengthen up. Last one. Breath in as you lengthen. As you breathe out, you roll down. You're pulling the belly button in. Ball in that left arm. Open out. And remember, listen to your body. If this is enough, stay with this. You're going to go for it. Rotate. Place the ball on the floor. Make sure both sides of the bottom are on the floor. The ball rolls back on that diagonal just a little bit. Then you're using those stomach muscles to roll it back a little bit. And again, it rolls. It comes back a bit, but everything's coming from the core. 2 more. 1 more now, stay here. Tighten that belt. Use your stomach muscles to pick the ball up off the floor. Then bring it back. Arms in front, well done. And you're coming all the way up. Good work, we're nearly done. Ball to one side, we're round on our hands and knees now. So now we're on our hands and knees. Let's have the ball to the right hand side. And we're making sure that our knees are under the hips. We're checking that the hands are under the shoulders. And we're starting with this neutral spine, the straight line from our ear, shoulder to the hip. But now we're moving the spine into cat stretch. So can you tuck under? Now feel this movement ripple through your spine from the base of the spine, the middle of the back, the top of the back, until finally your head just hangs and you look towards your thighs. And you take a deep breath in, focus on breathing into the top of the back. And then as you breathe out, feel that movement rolling through the spine as it comes to neutral. And we're just going to do 1 more for now as you tuck under and you're rounding the spine. So we want to get this movement, this mobility in the spine, as well as strengthening all of those other muscles we've just worked. Breathe into your back. Breathing out. Bring it back. Make sure you come to neutral. Pick the ball up with the right hand. Turn and look at the ball and then lift. Now make sure you can see the ball. It's not a shoulder movement, it's a spine movement. You're turning the rib cage. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bend your left arm. The ball goes on the floor. The back of your right hand is on the ball, so the ball can roll up your right arm as you rotate. Hold it there for a moment. Bring it back. So now we're doing another spinal movement, or rotation. Turn and lift up and hold it. Take a breath. As you breathe out, you're going to bend the left arm. Ball is on the back of that right hand, and it rolls up that right arm as you rotate. And again, let's just do 2 more. Turn and rotate. So we've moved the body and the spine in a specific order. We've got our lumbar spine moving, then we've got the top of the back in extension and moving, and now we're adding this last spinal movement. Take a breath. Breathe out, bend the left arm, the ball rolls up the right arm. Now leave the ball where it is at the left side so that you can come onto your hands and knees. Find that neutral spine, get that equal pressure on the hands and on the knees, and then move the spine again into cat stretch, that ripple rolling through your spine. Let your head drop. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring it all the way back to that neutral position. Let's go again. Tucking under, we're rounding the back, looking towards your thighs, and take a breath as you breathe out. Make sure that you return to neutral first, then pick the ball up with your left arm. Turn your head, look at the ball, and then lift, rotate. Make sure you can see it out the corner of your eye, and think of that rib cage rotating. This time your right elbow bends as you place the ball on the floor. Back of the left hand goes on the ball. It rolls up that arm, and you keep stretching it if you can. Side of the head towards the floor. Breathe into this position, and then come back. Pick it up. Turn and stretch. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bending your right arm. Ball is rolling up your left arm as you rotate. And again, just got 2 more to go here. Noticing if this side feels any different to your other side. And then roll that ball and stretch. We've got this one last time. We're going to pick it up and turn. The arm stretches. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bending your right arm, the ball is rolling up the left arm as you rotate the spine. Come back. We're just going to put the ball to one side. We're back on hands and knees. We're curling the pelvis. We're tucking under. We're rounding the back. Look towards your thighs. But this time, tuck your toes under. Actually, see if you can get some flexion in the toe joints here. Now walk your hands to your knees and let your knees lift. So you're in this crouch position. Now come up a little bit so your feet are flat but your legs are bent. Look at your toes, spread them out. Big toes, little toes, backs of the heels on the floor. Now let your arms and head just flop down. Now all I want you to do here is activate that core muscle again. So take a breath. As you breathe out, can you tighten that belt? But also think pelvic floor. Can you feel a lift through the pelvic floor? Now, as you tighten the belt, as you activate the pelvic floor, see if you can curl your pelvis under, just like it was at the beginning when we had the ball under it. And then really slowly roll up, but think pelvic floor, belly button